Darren Sabedra again, Barry News Group, Mercury News, East Bay Times, here with Christian Babcock, Nathan Canilao. No Joseph Dicus tonight. He is off. Nathan was off, just got back from a movie. See anything good?
Captain America.
Ooh, look at him.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good movie. I did like that movie.
We got two movie guys here. Got my man Christian, who watches movies. Right?
Yeah, I watch movies. I think that's about all I can claim. I'm certainly not a cinephile. I am a strong devotee of waiting until a movie is free, and until then, I will not watch it. So
there you go. You go. Christian still watches DVDs, Nathan.
Wow, that's very.
I get DVDs. Yeah, I get DVDs at the library. I'm 27 going on 57 right now, so I'm not ashamed of that.
Well, I'm up there, Christian, and I don't go to the library to get DVDs. So maybe you might need to go to 67. You're 27 going on 67, maybe.
Hey, shout out to Campbell Library, man. They got those hard to find DVDs you need.
There you go. Big night of action in CCS. It was CCS basketball divisions 1 through 5, boys and girls. That was the only action tonight. Christian, you were at your alma mater, Westmont High, which won a nail biter over San Mateo in a kind of a strange game, right? San Mateo took charge early. Westmont came back, and it went down to the wire.
Yes, it was quite the game. San Mateo came out right away and went up 8-2, hit a couple threes, I think. They were just in total control. It was a chaotic game. They were jumping on loose balls, getting fast break points. And then Westmont really settled in. They took an 11-point lead, I believe it was, in halftime. They led by as many as 14 in the first half. And then in the third quarter, San Mateo, I don't know what was said or what was eaten or drunk in the halftime locker room and before the game. But they came out once again, kind of, guns blazing, just making everything. They cut it, I think, to 6 or 7 very quickly. And then they eventually cut it down to 1 a few times, but they never got the lead. Westmont was able to just hold on and hold the fort. And it was kind of a bizarre ending. San Mateo was down 4. Westmont made 2 free throws. And San Mateo came down, hit a 3 with about, I think, 4 seconds left. But they did not have a timeout. And the clock ran on the made basket and it just ran right out. So it was kind of an anticlimactic way to end such a good game. But that's how it ended.
And that was it. I was following the Palo Alto Lee game on the stream. That was a very low-scoring game. Lee actually took the lead middle of the fourth quarter. I think it was 33-31, and then Pally went on an 8-0 run and ended up holding off Lee 40-35 to advance to the Division I final for CCS. That game will be on Saturday night. I guess you're going to be there, Christian. We just talked about it. You're going to be at Mission College on Saturday, so you'll get to see that one. They'll be facing Carlmont, which I think this Carlmont team is pretty good. They took down Homestead, which had beaten Los Gatos in the previous round. I mean, this is a Carlmont team that we talked about the other day that held Santa Teresa, under 50, right? They were in the 40s, I think. So Carlmont and Palo Alto will play for the Division I title. Christian, you also see Menlo Atherton, I believe, against Los Gatos on the girls' side in Division I. Menlo Atherton had a huge win at Evergreen Valley tonight. Glenn Reeves was there. Check out his story, mercurynews.com, eastbaytimes.com. Nathan, you were out of action tonight watching Captain America, but you got out and you saw that the Mills girls pulled off a big win over Santa Cruz tonight. The CZS has that score of 60-30, which is what we went with. I see it's as 60-38 on Max Prep, so it was either 60-38 or 60-30. Right now, it is 60-30 on our site. That could change if with that score proves to be incorrect. But I wrote a little bit about Mills in our roundup that's going to post on Friday morning. You've written about Mills with Justin Matsu, and playing, last year they played, dedicated their season to Justin's father, Dave, who had passed away. they fell short last year against Notre Dame, San Jose, and sometimes you don't get a second chance. Saturday, Mills will get a second chance. That game last year went to overtime. How do you see Mills stacking up with Notre Dame, San Jose on Saturday at Santa Clara High? Right? Isn't that what? Oh, Nathan, you there?
Yeah. I think he froze up there for a second.
I froze up. Yeah, talking about that. Yeah.
But so I think they match up really well. I think if I remember correctly from last year, I mean it was wire to wire that each team had scores on both sides. Both teams are relatively young going into last year's game, so a lot of the same matchups will be in that game. I think Mills wants this. They've obviously had some success, and last year was kind of a surprising one. I think a lot of people expected Mills to win that game, and Notre Dame, San Jose kind of came out of nowhere. I think they were like second to last in their league last year, and then they ended up winning that title. I remember talking to the coach for Notre Dame, and she was so shocked they won. She didn't even know what happened after. Like, what if they're going to NorCal's, or she had no idea. It was like their first section title in school history across any sport. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think obviously Mills wants this. They definitely want to avenge that game from last year. It was a really emotional loss last year. I remember how distraught all the players were after that game. So I think this is going to set up for a good matchup. I think they match up. I mean, just basketball wise, they match up really well, but with kind of the backdrop of what happened last year, I think this will be a really fun game.
Right. And Justin gave a shout out to, I believe it's Ali Bueno, the coach at Notre Dame, San Jose. He says she does a terrific job with that program, and they rolled into the final. So they're not a surprise. They're the number one seed in that bracket. So this is by far, this is probably a 50-50 game, if not maybe 51-49 in favor of Notre Dame, San Jose. So it's going to be an emotional game at Santa Clara High on Saturday. What else we got? We got the Open Division tomorrow in CCS. So we're pretty excited about that. Not just in basketball, but soccer. Christian's going to be at name that field again, Buckshaw Field, Stevens Stadium.
Buckshaw Field at Stevens Stadium.
There you go. That's where you're gonna see the Midi girls taking on St. Francis. You're gonna see Bellarmine boys taking on Everett Alvarez. Well, Joseph will be next door at the Levy Center to see the Midi girls play Pinewood, and Reardon taking on St. Ignatius. So, and then Nathan, are you going to make the trip to San Francisco?
I am indeed. I'm going to go watch International High play Alhambra. We were joking about that, I think, a couple of days ago, but I'm going to go to that game. I think that's going to be a fun one at Kezar Pavilion. I think Alhambra is one of the more interesting stories, especially in this competitive equity format, where a team like them can really struggle. I'm not saying like they not only did they not win the DAL, they were very far from winning the DAL, but they're here. They're a Division 5 team, and they get to play kind of. It's funny. Like, even if they lose that game, they're gonna go to NorCal. Like it's right. a big deal, I think, for Alhambra. And I was just peeking through their Instagram page, and they're excited. I think they have a big fan base who's excited to come out to this game. So I think it'll be a fun one in San Francisco tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if the Pride of Martinez can bring home an NCS trophy back across the Bay Bridge and taking it out to Martinez on Friday night. And then I think this is it's safe to say that we're probably busier now than we were during the fall, during football playoffs.
Yes. Yeah.
No doubt.
No doubt. I mean, this is all the two main sports converging on the same day with especially Saturday with everything happening, so many games and so many things to watch, and probably have some phone calls still left over for games we're not going to watch. So. Right.
Well, we've got a full staff. We've got our veterans coming in to help us on Saturday with Glenn Reeves and Mike Lefkow. Joseph will be busy. I'll be kind of piloting the ship, but it looks like I'm going to go out to a game. to see
Yeah.
Doherty Valley.
You think they pulled it off, Darren?
Do I think Doherty Valley will beat Redwood?
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, don't you?
I think they will. I mean, Redwood has struggled with some teams that Doherty Valley has just kind of blown out this year, so they should win that game. I think Mike Hansen is. They have a chip on. They've had a chip on their shoulder for like the last year, and I know how talented. I know they're the 1 seed and they're a really good team, but they've been playing like they're a 16 seed all year. So that'll be an emotional. If they pull it off, it'll be a very emotional. I don't expect the waterworks. I expect. Screaming and yelling and all the emotions out if they win on Saturday.
All right. Before we wrap up, I'm going to put you guys on the spot a little bit. Little under the radar game that you're looking forward to this weekend. Who wants to start?
I'll start. I think the Division 4 CCS boys basketball game between I think it's TKA. They're playing someone from Santa Cruz. Let me look here. They're playing Carmel. So. I've been on the TK bandwagon for a little bit, and I thought there should have been an open team. And they pretty much beat Sacred Heart Prep, who was an open team last year, pretty good. So Boss Moon, Claxton Ladine, Xavier Barnett, like they have a lot of guys. They're all young, and I think if they take care of business on Saturday, I think we're looking at another, the class of the WBAL. The next 2 years, so
no doubt about it. Christian, do you have an under the radar game you're looking forward to this weekend?
Yeah, I think by definition this would not really be under the radar, but I just sort of feel like both Palo Alto boys and Los Gatos girls are not super high on everyone's radar just because they are the 1 seeds in Division 1 and there's so much attention paid to the Open. I think either of these teams could have been an open team. I know we talked a little bit about Carl Mont's had some really impressive performances in the playoffs, but I kind of, having seen Palo Alto against Los Gatos, Jarrell Clark is having such a great year. Seems like they're kind of on a mission. I think it would be a great way to finish off their season to get a CCS title. And then I think they'd be very well equipped to make some noise in NorCal. Obviously, it's a bit of a different ballgame in NorCal when you bring in, the entire half of the state. And I think the same thing about Los Gatos. I think they're definitely going to be the favorites in this game on Saturday. I would pick them to win. I think, they might even sort of be able to handle this comfortably. And I think they'll be poised to go very deep in NorCal. That's a really good team. I was able to watch some of them before the Palo Alto Los Gatos boys game I went to. And they have size, they have length, they have speed, they can shoot it, and they have the inside presence whenever they want it with those 2 centers. So I think those are 2 teams to watch as we head into NorCal.
There you go. My under the radar game is going to happen at San Leandro High. I believe it's at 5:00, where Moreau Catholic will try to capture another NCS championship when it plays Cardinal Newman. This is a very interesting matchup. I think we talked about it a little bit last night. That should be fun. I wish I could see it. Maybe I'll have it on my phone. If I get cell service out in Livermore. Is that going to happen, Nathan? Am I going to get cell service out there?
I didn't get cell service in that gym last time I was there, so hopefully you got a good carrier.
Questionable.
Yeah, I think it's questionable.
Is there Wi-Fi in that gym?
There's not. You got to use it. You might have to ask the AD out there in Livermore to get you. I think it's James Peters store.
Oh my goodness! Great. Looking forward to that. Hey, real quickly before we go, Jerry McDonald stepped in while you guys were out today and wrote an NCS story about the scrambling of the schedule, given that St. Mary's said no to them. Did you buy what the NCS told our man Jerry, Nathan?
I mean, not really. I understand his point of we want to give the advantage to whatever the top, the higher seed is to play where they want. But look, it's do you really want to do that? I feel like if you polled these teams, they'd much rather just play at a nice place. And I know that St. Mary's not there, but I was just looking on Twitter before I hopped on with you guys. Like SRV was clearly taking shots at the NCS, the girls basketball team for where they played. So I remember I saw that Joseph put 2 pictures up of like how far it would be for both teams to go to Dublin. It looks like they were fine. You know, both SRV and Akalani's were good going to Dublin. So I don't think it matters that much if, you know, they play 5. It's not their home gym anyway. So if we're playing at somewhere 5 minutes away, I don't think it really matters.
I mean, let's be honest. If I'm getting in my car and driving off of Treat Boulevard out of the parking lot at De La Salle to go to Dublin, and I'm driving out of the parking lot at Akalani's to go to Dublin, who's going to win that race?
It's
I think I think if you're at Akalani's, it's like 1 block to the freeway. You're on the freeway and you're on 680 in a second going to Dublin. Whereas if you leave De La Salle, you got to go through about 5 street lights before you hit the freeway. I think if you're leaving, I think De La Salle is about a 5-minute more longer drive to.
I will say, if we're taking the, I know that Jerry, he did a great job asking about different venues. So like, I know Pat said Cal State East Bay hasn't been really a spot for them for the last couple of years. And
Cal, which is expensive. Even the CIF State can't go back to Cal. Even though that's a great venue for them in terms of atmosphere.
The Oakland Arena, well, it looks like has just been priced out for them. So I will say this. I do think that these schools, I mean, they should open up their doors. I mean, especially if you want to grow the game here in the East Bay. If you want I would just say that if you want kids to go to your school to play basketball, if you're recruiting the Bay Area, I think it actually helps you if some of those kids played in your gym for your.
If you open the door, I haven't asked Pat this. We haven't asked St. Mary's. I mean, I think St. Mary's needs to be asked about just why why there's a scheduling conflict if you're not playing until Saturday. I mean, I know the visiting team has to come in and practice, but can't you work around it a little bit? I think Oregon State's coming in this weekend, but I mean, the last time the NCS was there, Jose Fajardo has got an iconic shot of Ryan Beasley taking down the nets at St. Mary's College with the crowd, with the court flooded with fans. I'm just curious. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is just maybe me and my brain, but I'm curious what St. Mary's thought about the high school team taking down the nets at St. Mary's, and not only a high school team, but a guy who had already committed to USF. That
probably hurt a little bit for them, and I'm sure that they didn't. Not just even from that standpoint, but I'm sure that trying to get a maintenance guy to redo the nets wasn't too pleasant either. So that I am also curious about what they think.
Oh, that. I mean, that was the last time the NCS has been, and they've been shut out the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's really tough because those are some legendary games.
And if you want to see the picture, it's on Jerry's story, right?
Yeah. And Jerry had a great story. Jerry had a really good Q&A with Pat. I think he really hit on all the bases for us. So that was great.
There you go. Thanks, guys. We went a little longer than I was anticipating, but always great stuff. We'll do this again. Will we do it tomorrow night? I guess we will at some point, right? Maybe we'll do it. It's gonna be tough. Well,
we get to talk some soccer. I bet they're not going to cut down the nets at Santa Clara. I can almost guarantee you that as far as soccer goes.
Well, I guarantee you they will not be tearing down any nets at Santa Clara Levy Center because the security is very tough guarding that court at Santa Clara U.
I mean, you guys really think they'd take down the nets with no advance warning?
What's that?
At St. Mary's.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they did it. Doherty did it. So
I covered a handful of championship games there, and Doherty's the only one that I can remember that took down the nets.
I mean, how are you going to get like a ladder in there? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like there are steps.
Oh no, they lifted him up.
Oh, okay.
Look at the picture.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's not on a ladder. I don't believe.
Okay.
I have to look at that picture before we wrap up here.
All I'll say is, at Dublin, the Open Division at Dublin, whoever wins that one, I don't know if, Tom Costello does have a ladder, and I think he's a nice enough guy. If they want to cut down the net, he'll put it back. He's very, very particular about his court and everything. But I think he would let them cut it down if it gets to that point.
Christian, this was spontaneous. Look at Slack right now. I just sent you the picture. There is no ladder.
Okay, I did see it. I didn't look, I guess, that closely. I'm just so used to in the NCAA tournament now they have. I mean, the ladder is sponsored. I think the cutting of the nets might be sponsored by something else too, besides just the ladder. Like the scissors, I think might have gotten involved. Yeah. It's crazy.
Do you see the picture?
It's loading.
Yeah, that's a lot of guys too.
I mean,
a great shot.
Yeah, that is. I just like, how much do 2 nets cost? I know it's a little annoying for the maintenance guy, but this is like a lifetime memory for these kids. I feel we should
this might not even be on St. Mary's radar, but I mean, it's just is it a coincidence that NCS has not been back there? And in Pat's comments to Jerry, he doesn't know why they're telling them no. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. And I will say, I think the bigger issue is that we're not at Oakland Arena. I mean, what is going on at Oakland Arena that we can't have the NCS, at least the Open, man? Come on. Like, that's crazy. I don't know. There's literally nothing happening I know there's nothing happening at Oakland Arena. That should, as much as I love St. Mary's, Oakland Arena should be the place where we really do these things, because that's where I think you could really.
That's where the state championships used to be forever. NorCal championships were there. As Jerry wrote, the what do they call it? The Tournament of Champions back in the 70s, or way before my time. But so anyhow, NCS will be at Akalani's High, Campolindo High for the girls, and Dublin High for the boys Open Division games. So that is a wrap. Thanks, guys.